the first webinar of 2021. And as I said, just before we get started, I wanted to begin by saying thank you to all of you. On behalf of everyone at Education City, on behalf of our children, our grandchildren, our nieces and nephews, thank you for all of the hard work that you are doing. Teachers, TAs, LSAs, Senkos, whatever your role in a school, we appreciate it. So thank you very, very much. Hopefully what we're going to be doing today is just going over some of those areas that are really going to help you in terms of remote learning. Obviously, students not being back in school yet, you may have your key worker students still in school. We're not quite sure when everything is going to return to normality. So my aim today is to take you through those key areas of Education City that will help you to prepare for remote learning. And essentially, that will be the My City area. I assume some of you will have already used the My City, some of you will have already created folders of work for your students. I just want to go over in a little bit more depth with you how these are going to be so beneficial when it comes to planning for this current climate, and obviously that transition back into school for your students whenever that may be, and whether it will be as a whole class, a bubble of students, staggered groups, or individual key worker children followed by a few more, however that will be. So as we're going along, if you've got any questions for me, I do encourage you to ask those. Can I please ask you to use the Q&A function though? You'll find that on your taskbar as you are logged in. It's just the questions will then pop up onto my screen, as opposed to in the chat feature, I have to go through and really search for those. And the great thing about the Q&A function as well is that you can ask questions anonymously if that suits you. So please do feel free to ask as many questions as you wish to. And we're going to start off by heading into Education City. Here we are, just here. And here we are on my homepage. Now, those of you who are familiar with my webinars will know that first off, this is a made-up school. Do not worry about any names that you may see. No GDPR issues here because they are all made up. It is also an English school, but I will point out any differences as we're going through. I don't think there should be many, but I will point out those as we're going along as well. Okay, so I don't know about you, but when I was teaching, we always used to plan our units, whether they be for the term or the half term, based upon maybe a topical subject, sort of a history area, geography area. But this one school I worked in, we used to actually plan our units based upon a book. And I absolutely loved that because I love reading. I absolutely love books. My favourites, Butterfly Lion. If you haven't read that with your class, you absolutely need to. It's brilliant. Boy in the Striped Pyjamas, if you're doing World War II, amazing. And my absolute favourite, The Secret Garden. The reason why I loved reading these books with my students is you get so much creativity out of them within the other cross-curricular subject areas. So what I'd like to do today is to show you, A, how you can use Education City for your planning, but also how you can use Education City in terms of planning and setting that work for remote learning. So let me just pop that on there. Somebody still can't hear anything. I would suggest to that person, I'll come to that in a moment. I'll help you out in a moment, Abby, but don't worry because all these webinars are recorded anyway, so you can always watch after the webinar if you can. So I'll come to you in a moment, Abby, see if I can get that sorted for you. So heading into our My City area. For those of you who are familiar, the little icons here represent a My City, and that is our planning folder. If you work in the EYFS, this will still be relevant to you if you do have students continuing their learning at home. Same as if you work in year 6 and you've got students working at home at the moment, doing that remote learning. This will be relevant to all age groups, Lucy. The content, I'm going to touch upon different areas, but it should be relevant to you as well. So I hope that answers that question for you just there. So as I mentioned, my city areas over here, I'm just going to ask Lindsay, my left-hand lady, can you just have a check for me, please, Lindy? I've got a couple of people saying that they cannot hear anything. Just making sure that, oh, we can hear now. A couple of people, we can hear now. Okay, excellent. We've got that sorted. You need to click join audio. Thank you, Ellie. That's really helpful. Thank you ever so much for doing that. Really appreciate it. Okay, where were we? My cities, that was the one. My city area. If you've used the My City before, you'll understand part of what I'm going to explain to you. If you haven't, do not worry. I will be talking ourselves through this. So, don't know about you, but when I used to do my planning, I used to have bits of paper everywhere, proper brainstorming session. But if you imagine something like the secret garden in maths, you might be looking at measurements, for example, how high can a plant grow? You might be looking at data and statistics as well. Science, the obvious one there is plants. Growing a plant, how to grow a plant, the properties of plants. And then in English, if I create this new folder of work, using this button just here. This one is going to be called the Secret Garden English. And then once you've sort of typed in the name of that folder of work, click to create, and that will open up for you. Now, the benefit of doing your planning using EducationCity is, first of all, you can obviously edit and adapt at whatever point you wish to. But also you can slightly tweak and amend what it looks like, the appearance of it. So it's so easy to find. So all of my secret gardens are going to be blue. And because this one is English, it's going to be, is it green English? I can't remember. We can always change it though at a later date. There we go. And then from this point, I'm going to add my tools in. Secret Garden, if you've ever read it, so many really descriptive writing is fantastic for it. Also, again, writing instructions for growing a plant if you're wanting to do cross-curricular there as well. And however you are adding to your My City folder, wherever you see one of those lovely orange plus signs, you can start adding things in. I've got a couple of examples from my history just there. And what I'm going to start off with is descriptions. Now, I believe it was Lucy who mentioned earlier about EYFS. This will obviously be relevant to your year group. Whatever year group you are teaching, this will be relevant to you. So if you're looking at phonics, if you're looking at nursery rhymes, if you're looking at the alphabet, you can search for that here. And you can have a look as well for that info button that will tell you any objectives that have been met. Because don't forget, everything on EducationCity is mapped to the curriculum that you follow. In England, it's the national curriculum. In Scotland, it's the curriculum for excellence. So everything is there for you, already created to meet your needs. Now, a couple of these resources, just going to go over very, very quickly. Again, ThinkIts. These are going to be absolutely fantastic for home learners, for that remote learning, because they've got a real element of independence about them. And if you're looking at science ones as well, great for investigation purposes. Another benefit you have is that you've got the question there. If students have their books at home, they can write their answers down. And many of them come with that next step, that sort of, okay, you've done that bit, tell me about this bit now. Use some descriptive words to write a spooky story. So all of them have got that question answer property to them. And don't forget, they are printable as well. If you have got any remote learners who don't have access to Education City online, they can always have the printable versions in like a little bundle if you wish to. So ThinkIts, we can pop a couple of those in, and we can also filter down just here to have a look at just those ThinkIts. Don't forget, you've got the level filters just there as well. We've got sensory words, that'd be quite cool, and describing the setting. There we go. The other different tool types that are going to be relevant for home learning are our learn screens and activities. Now, learn screens are going to be really beneficial to you because they're really good at guiding pupils through their learning independently. They're great for talking through something. It's something that students can go through at their own pace, and they will ask questions of the students to answer as well. So it really is something that will be controlled through independent learning. Bethany, yes, this is being recorded. I know, I don't know about you, but the weather here is absolutely terrible. So if you do miss any of this, do not worry, it will be recorded. And I'll also pop my email address at the end there. So if you do want a copy of this recording, you can let me know. There we go. Just noticed I've got some answers there in the chat. There we go. Everybody logging on there. That's brilliant. There we go. Okay, another question. Are the levels based on English schools? The levels in this particular school, yes, they are, Emily, but that's because this is an English school. When you log into your account in Scotland, you will find that the levels are the P levels exactly as you use in Scotland. I believe we cover P1 upwards. So I think we even cover nursery as well in the Scottish level. So I do hope that answers your question okay. This is just because this is an English made up school here that the levels look like year 3, year 4, etc. It will differ depending upon your login just there. Are the instructions guidance able to be read out by the programme? Susan, yes, they are. In learn screens and activities in particular, they will have the voice instruction to them. So they can be read by the students, or students can just listen to them being read. So just to give you an example, this one here is drafting a fantasy setting. If we have a look at this one, you'll be able to see, if I open it up, I can start. I'm just going to pause that for a moment. There's the writing here that students can read, but it will also get read out to them as well. So it does cover those. I hope that answers that question okay for you. And as with every learn screen, you've got your slide selector along the bottom. In your play, pause, rewind, and fast forward just there as well. So they are like a combination of a video and a PowerPoint presentation just there as well. Here we go. Just going to add a couple of those in because then I want to move on to activities. Now, activities, the benefit of activities, they do sort of have that reading aloud if you wish to, as well as being able to be read. Best thing is that they are marked for you. You've not got to worry about marking any activities. They are all done automatically as long as your students are logged in. So really, really important. You have to encourage your students to log in to complete the work. Otherwise, it doesn't get marked and their scores won't be saved. And you can't print them off a certificate for it either. So you can do that here as well. So you can have a look again. You can filter through those. Having a bit of a look, and you'll be able to find, again, you can have a bit of a summary just here, click into the picture to open it up. And if there's anything in particular that you want to add in, wherever you see that orange plus sign, you can add those tools in just there. And even if you wanted to then put your instructional pieces in there, have a bit of a cross-reference, The Jungle Book series of learn screens and activities is absolutely brilliant. If anybody's looking for those, just there they are. We can add those in as well. Now I'm just going to click done because that will then refer us back into the folder of work. There they all are. I'm just going to check any questions. Just wondering if we have free access to science resources during lockdown. EducationCity is now a whole package. You have access to English, maths or literacy, numeracy and science, as well as our online safety bundle and free games and these new assessments that we have as well. So I hope that answers your question okay. Work can be differentiated if you wish to. I'm going to come to that in a moment, Kirsty. You're beating me to it there. I will come to that in a moment. But anybody who is watching today who doesn't currently have an EducationCity subscription at their school, we are offering free online EducationCity access for schools at the moment, a free trial. Again, my email address at the end, you can send over any questions that you might have about that further on. So Kirsty, I'm going to come to that in a moment. Bear with me. David, you can do that. I will come to that in a moment. You can set activity ideas and share with your co-workers before you decide to plan. I can come to that in a moment. Please do bear with me. There we go. Oh, you're very welcome. You do have to sign in with your school. It is a whole school subscription. I'm afraid we don't offer home educator packages anymore. And we also do not offer anything other than core subject, English, maths and science. And as I mentioned, that sort of online safety bundle with it is within there as well. So no languages or topical resources or RE, I'm afraid. I hope that answers those questions okay. Loving all the questions tonight, everybody. It was brilliant. Thank you. So somebody has asked about tracking pupils. Yes, you can track pupils. You can see what they've done. You can see the scores that they've got for each and how long it took them. Again, whoever asked that, I will come to that a little bit later on, show you a little bit more information about that shortly. So do bear with me. Lots of questions. I love it. It's brilliant. Okay, so back in our My City folder, you can see all of the resources that I've popped in there. There they all are. And you've got your Think It's Just There, your learn screens and your activities, which get marked for you. Now you can move things around a little bit. You can change things to a different place if you wish to. And if you've popped anything in that you think, actually, I don't want that anymore, simply click onto it, drag it towards the top and let go. So you can edit your folders of work there as well. What you can also do is if you pop things in a really structured order and maybe you've popped a game at the end, do check out those games. They're brilliant. You can also lock things to sequence it as well. So this is the order that your pupils would have to go through those tools. And that's really beneficial if you want to put like 2 weeks worth of resources in there because they have to go things in that specific order that you set it in. If not, you could just leave it open, nothing to stop you there, and have a look at our great phonics and times table resources. You can pop those into those, leave it open for the students to dip in and out of in their free time. Just going to save that there. I might add a comment or two in here about what we're going to be doing. Maybe descriptions and instructions. You could obviously put a little bit more of a personal comment just there to your pupils as well. What we're then going to do is just work our way along this blue tab. So we're going to pop that content in. Do feel free to check out the other ways of finding those resources, whether that's via the curriculum map, the subjects area, or we've got our search content, which is basically just a larger scale of what I've shown you. popping those tools in and moving over to the students function. Now, this is where somebody asked about differentiation. You can most definitely differentiate in this way. There is a groups function in addition to having the class. So you have your students set up, you'll have them in the class just here. You can set up groups as well. And you'll find that in the manage users area. So if I just scroll back up to the top really quickly, open that up in the manage users area just here, the final tab on the right hand side is a groups function. That enables you to create groups of students, whether it's in your class, across the school, across classes. You can really mix it up. There really isn't a limit as to how many groups a child can belong to either, or how many groups you can have. So do check that out. If you want a little bit more guidance as well, have a look at the Help Centre. This will be all of our recorded webinars just here, but you can search via a keyword, such as a guide for something, or in terms of creating a group, you've got that video there on how to create a group, or you can click on the signpost and it will quite literally talk you through what to do. I head back onto the home page, you'll get these lovely bright orange boxes appear just there, and it will talk you through everything. There we go. So once you've got your group set up and you've got your folders of work set up, as I mentioned there, you can give to a group of students. And whether that is your key worker students and your remote learner students, as an example, you can do that as well. Abby, children can access any resources that we have on their login pages. There is a subjects area, and they're able to go into that and find any resources that they wish to use. So you could always pop in a couple of resources to kind of prompt them along the way, and then they can go in their own time and do those at home. When you click on levels, you get animal names. That is to do with what your administrator for EducationCity has set. Have a word with your administrator, see if you can get it changed back. But what the administrator does to the level names will apply for everybody. So have a word with her or him, and they'll be able to do that. But again, if they need to get in touch with me, they can do at the end. Oh, Simrat, thank you so much for that. We very much appreciate it. You have been using EducationCity brilliantly over the past few years. We really do appreciate that. Thank you very much. We've got a little bit longer to go, but as I mentioned earlier, anybody who isn't accessing this, it will be recorded. So you'll be able to access this at a later date if you wish to. Okay, so we've got our groups, we've got our individuals and our classes. If I want to give this to a group, I'm just going to find my group name, click on the plus sign just there, and that will add all of the pupils in that group. Make sure you save as you're going through. Then you've got your preferences. You know your students, you know what will appeal to them. Have a look at those, things like the countdown timer, adding them out of time, changing the pass rate, things like that. The one thing I will tell you about is at the top here, you've got this publish area. If you are going to give this to students, you will need to publish it. Click onto yes, and then you can either publish it indefinitely, so it's always going to be there until you delete it, or you can schedule a time frame between which you can publish this for. And you can see now published between those two dates. Once this is published, you will be able to enter any My City that you have and track your pupils by clicking onto the tracking tab. You'll be able to see any scores that they've got, what they've attempted in that right-hand column just there as well. Heading back into the My City area, I'm going to show you now how you can create a copy to share with your year partners. Then I will come to questions, I promise. I'm so happy that everybody's asking questions, it's brilliant. So let's say I want to share this folder of planning with my year partner. I've popped some tools in there. I want to share that with her. Click in the box next to the folder that you wish to copy. There we go. Actions and create a copy. You must create that copy first of all, otherwise you're going to give somebody your original. There we go. I'm going to leave that as copy. It will open it up, see if you want to change anything, but I'm not going to change anything. I'm just going to go back along this breadcrumb trail just here. You see now I've got my original and my copy. And I'm going to click in that box just there, actions and allocate. That will bring up a list of every staff member in the school who has an Education City account. Click on that person's name so it highlights blue and allocate. That has now been transferred. If I now refresh this page, you will see that that has disappeared out of my folder. Now, just to be warned, that person will receive all of the tools that I've popped into that folder. They will not be able to see the students that I've set it for or be able to track the students either. So if you are looking to work with a peer or year partner, you may wish to decide somebody does English, somebody does maths and sort of set and track that way. Or you might want to just share that copy so that you can be set to your own year groups just there. So I'm just going to head into the home page. Let me answer some of these wonderful questions. How do the children sign in? When they log in to, when you log into Education City, I should say, students will each have a username and a password. They have to then go to go.educationcity.com, as you can see up here. Enter in this username and password, and that will log them in. Lucy, you can delete groups and children very easily from Education City if you need to. If I just show you on the groups function, if I want to delete a group over here, what I'm going to do is scroll down to find the group that I want. Let's go for Thursday's phonics group. Click in the box just there next to that group name, actions and delete. And that is the same process for students as well. How long is Education City free for schools? I tell you what, get in touch with me at the end and we will see what we can do. We can offer you a free trial for your school if you wish to. Caroline, pupils can access folders at any time, whether it's classwork or homework. We put that on so that if you wish to have a separation visually in terms of classwork they're doing class time, homework they're doing home time, they've got that on there. You can do that if you wish to. Children will not be able to see any groups that they are in, Alicia. That's all done sort of anonymously if you like. They won't be able to see those groups at all. Caroline, thank you for that bit of feedback. I'm noting that down right now. I'm going to pass that on to the team, see if there's anything they can do to support you in that area. Thank you for that. I appreciate that bit of feedback just there. Assessments are available to any curriculum. You'll find those on the homepage. Just there on set assessments, you will find different assessments and they are differing depending upon the curriculum that you follow, but we do have assessments for every user. There we go. Carol, we have a lot of recordings on how to for pupils. We also have one for parents as well that you can copy the link for on YouTube and paste it into emails for parents if you wish to. And that navigates Education City for both parents and their children as well. If you head over to educationcity.com, no, it's on YouTube, sorry. Head over to YouTube and type in Education City. That's all one word. You'll be able to find those webinars there for you. You can, Fiona, give them your original if you wish to, but then they would have to create a copy to then send back to you so that you have that copy there. But yes, you can do that if you wish to. Yes, David, that can be done with more than one teacher at more than one time. I assume you mean about the My Cities. Yes, it can. There we go. Preferences for saving again. Yes, of course I can. Let me head into that folder, Geraldine. I'll be able to show you those. So in the preferences area, you've got your publishing. You do need to publish if you want children to navigate the work that you've set. Publish indefinitely, which means it's always going to be there until you delete it, or schedule a time frame. And that can be in advance as well. It doesn't have to be from today. We can go all the way up to May 2021 if you want to. How far can we go? There we go, 2022, why not? But you can schedule for a time frame of your choosing. Just remember to save as you're going through. Lots of questions. I really do appreciate these, everybody. And thank you for your lovely comments as well. Games are found in the same places everywhere else, Daniel. If you head over to any of our search areas, I'm just going to, there we go. Any of the search areas that we have, search for the word games, and you will find all of the games that we have to offer, including those that links, but you can search via the content type just there as well. Michelle, when they log into Education City, everything is labelled for them. Again, please do have a look at the webinar that we did previously for parents, because that will explain all of that. All of that for you. Jenny, my homepage, if I head it back up to the top just here, thank you for that. This is because this is the new view, and it's got some new features on here, such as the student overview, the work overview tracker just there. Obviously the online safety resources just there as well. The classic view looks like that. So Jenny, if yours looks like that, that is just because you're on the classic view. It still does the same thing, but if you click on the ribbon just there, it turns over to the new view, and I just prefer this one. Thank you for that. Yeah, I've got that written down. I'm going to pass that information on just there. Robin, again, if you're logging in and there's no set assessment, it will mean that you're on the old homepage, the classic view that looks like that. You can still find assessments in some of the subject areas, but if you want to view what I'm seeing, click on the ribbon just there to the new view, and there they are for you, those set assessments. Gillian, I'm so happy that you've asked that. Actually, Education City has had a massive rehaul of everything. We no longer have any flash friendly things on there. That's because everything on Education City is available on any tablets, iPads, laptop, computer, whatever you need. There are no flash reliant resources on Education City anymore. So your children should be able to see everything that you set for them. I hope that answers that question for you. Yes, they are. Head over to Carol. If you don't want to do that, head over to educationcity.com/webinars. All of our previously recorded webinars will be on there, but I believe we're also doing a parent and student webinar coming up soon on how to navigate that. So do keep your eyes peeled for that. Oh, I told you, Robin, I told you you'd find it. The set assessments are now there. That's excellent. Thank you. How can teaching assistants access EducationCity from home? That is really, really simple. Make sure teaching assistants are set up on EducationCity. I personally, when I was teaching, my teaching assistant was my best friend, my mother. Brilliant. Make sure they're set up on EducationCity, because that means that they have access to work that you set them, work that you share with them, but they also have access to groups, creating groups of their own for whatever reason. So do make sure your teaching assistants, TAs, LSAs, SENSAs are all set up on EducationCity for you. Rebecca, I agree. Oh, this is brilliant. Oh, Robin, thank you for that. Robin says to mention the Play Live is worth looking at. For anybody who hasn't looked at it previously, it is worth looking at. I completely agree with you, Robin. They are brilliant. Oh, Yvonne, again, a lovely comment. I appreciate that. I'm again just going to jot that down really quickly. We do like to make sure that everything on EducationCity is accessible and inclusive for all. I will be passing that information on. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Again, a couple more people changing on the ribbon just here. Click there, return to the classic view, or click on the orange ribbon to return to the view that I'm looking at. Geraldine, you can't block Play Live in the saving preference. What you can do is turn off their player name. So anybody else looking at like them logging in and playing the game means that they won't be able to see the username or the school name. I hope that helps there. Again, Amy, I really appreciate that. There's some really good feedback here. I'm going to get you all together at some point. We're going to do a focus group. It's brilliant. Oh, Anonymous, shout out to the teaching assistants, absolute heroes. I couldn't agree with you more. Absolutely brilliant. Stella, we're nearly finished now anyway, so thank you for joining us. Gemma, what is Play Live? You are missing out here, Gemma. We love Play Live at EducationCity. Head over to the search content area and type in the words Play Live, all one word, like so, and here they all are. And these are available for every year group for English and maths, or literacy and numeracy. The literacy one is kind of like a giant game of Boggle. And the numeracy one, children have to answer questions as quickly as they can. As you can see just there, to get their little avatar to move across the screen. Do have a look and let me know what you think. Nikki, for that purpose, I would strongly recommend the certificates from the activities that you can print off a certificate for them, but also all of the activities and think it's come with a printable version, so they can do those and get those stuck up. But we don't, they can't print activities that they've done on EducationCity, if that answers that question for you. Teachers, Ellie, teachers can add TAs to their city. You can share your My City with your TA if you wish to, and they can share with you if they're running a focus group or an intervention group and they want to share with you what they're doing. That is entirely up to you, but I would strongly recommend it, and make sure you get your TAs set up on EducationCity. Gillian, pupils do love Play Live, and it's not just pupils either. Teachers love a bit of Play Live as well, so do go and have a look at those. Sarah, I'm not entirely sure about embedding the games onto Google Classroom. I wouldn't know. I'm not a very technical person, strangely enough. But you'll have to have a go and let us know whether or not that works. Marie, I'm afraid on the Play Live front, you can't do that. It is an online game. But as I mentioned earlier, you can take off their username and school name, and they'll just become player 1, player 2, player 3. So no one will see that. But Geraldine, yes, that does mean they can play against anybody in their class. They can play against anyone in their school. You can even have maybe a brother and a sister logged on at the same time playing against each other. As we said, it just gets very competitive after a while. Oh, Sarah, Gillian has just said that she does copy the links to the games into the Google Classroom. So I hope that helps, and anybody else who may have Google Classroom as well, I do hope that is beneficial to you as well there. Excellent. Do you know what? You guys have been absolutely brilliant. I really do wish you all of the best for this coming year. Make sure to explore those My Cities. You can use them for planning, whether it's for a whole unit, whether it's for weekly work. Make sure to copy before you share so that they're not getting your original, unless you use that idea, and I can't remember who said it, about sharing it with your partner, getting them to pop things in, and then they can send things back to you. Tracking student usage and progress, you can do that by using the tracking function, or if you're on Education City, do explore the success tracker. You'll thank me for it later. Loads of questions today. I really, really do appreciate it, and all of the positive feedback as well. You guys have been absolutely amazing. Absolutely love it. Alicia, good luck on your NQT year. If you need me at all, or any of you need me, any of you need any information at all, that is my email address, customerservice@educationcity.com. We have a really small customer service team, so if you make it for the attention of Haylie, or H as everybody likes to call me, customer service at educationcity.com for the attention of H. I would love to discuss anything that you have, any questions that you might have, and that feedback from those people who gave that feedback, that's really, really valuable. Thank you so much for that. I look forward to maybe meeting some of you again for training sessions. We do offer free training sessions as well as free now CPD accredited training sessions. We also offer training sessions for those of you who are having a trial with Education City as well. So again, if you want a trial, if you'd like a trial of Education City, get in touch. I really do I don't want this to end. You've all been so brilliant. But I really, really do appreciate all of you attending today, and the feedback you've given me is amazing. T Berry, that's a great idea as well, setting specific time and day for Play Live so that students know exactly when their friends are going to be on. That's a brilliant idea. I may have to magpie that idea for future webinars. Thank you for that. Until next time, everybody, I do hope your first month or so back at school for this year won't be too hard. But remember, we're always there if you need us. Email or telephone. I look forward to hearing from you all soon. Thank you again. Take care and stay safe. Bye-bye.